G'day and welcome to this Australian Open Live, and it's the Spotlight Series, and today we're shining a spotlight on Wimbledon 2022, and it's the APT Tour, the Aussie men who are about to launch into the first round of Wimbledon, the first week. And what about this for a lineup? Kokonakis, Millman, Duckworth, Purcell, MINAUR, Kyrgios, Thompson, Kubler and Popram. And of course, the one name missing that we all wish was there, the Australian Open champion from 2022, Ash Barty. She's retired, and boy, who can take up that mantle? So what we'll be doing is we'll be introducing you to those first round matches for each player, who they're up against, which players they're up against, the head-to-head record, looking at their run of form into Wimbledon, the last 10 matches, how their 2022's going in terms of their win-loss stats, and just a little bit of commentary around what we hope to expect out of the results of those matches. So strap yourselves in. It'll be a fun little exercise. We'll be doing the women in other episodes coming up today or tomorrow as well. Coming up in this episode, we'll be taking you through these three players, Max Purcell, Alex de Minaur and Nick Kyrgios. And for the moment, we'll leave you with the sights, sounds, summer of Australia, the Australian Open 2022. Don't go away, we'll be right back. Oh. Okay, welcome back. We've got a lot to get through, so let's get straight to the first player in our Wimbledon Spotlight Series first round preview. Aussie men on the ATP Tour, and look who it is, first cab off the rank. It's Max Purcell, newly minted Australian Davis Cup player. Had a great Australian Open 2022. Now he's playing the Frenchman Adrian Mannarino. Now Max is at 209 in the world. He has been as high as 156, I beg your pardon. And his French opponent, he's currently ranked 86 in well inside the top 100, but has been as high as 22. And these two guys head to head, they've never played each other before. Now Max has youth on his side, and he's 24, and Adrian currently 33. Now, what's their recent run of matches? So for 2022, Max has done pretty well. He's only lost 3 of his last 10 matches, and in fact has won 3 on the trot leading into this Wimbledon first round. Whereas he has played around about nearly 40 matches for the year, and his opponent also at a similar level. But interestingly, and if Max was going to be looking into his crystal ball and seeing that his French opponent, Mannarino, has actually lost 6 of his last 10 matches, well, Max must be feeling pretty reasonable about this. Now, look look at this stat, and if we look into one of our favourite stats, the one that we're going to use throughout these preview episodes, Max has won 7 of his last 9 matches on grass in 2022. So he's got to be confident, because the Frenchman, you'd think he's a clay court specialist. Well, he's had 6 matches and he's only running at 50% success rate. So Max, he's got a bit of fire in the belly, hasn't he? Because if you remember, with the Davis Cup tie that came after the Australian Open, Max was actually pretty vocal about the support that he wasn't getting from Leighton Hewitt. Can you imagine that? A young up-and-comer having a go at little old Lele, the Australian Davis Cup captain. So this kid's got quite a bit of self-belief. And he's coming up against a pretty respectable opponent there, who's had title wins on the Challenger Tour and one other main title, which I'll just see what that is actually. I'll just see what this title is, and there you go. It's led me astray. Okay, so moving on to our next player, we're stepping up a bit in class. It's the Demon, Alex de Minaur, and his first round match is against a South American player, Hugo Dellien from Bolivia. Can you believe that? I'm not too familiar with players from the Bolivian ranks. These two guys, they're head-to-head. De Minaur went down on clay, actually, in their only meeting. Hugo Gaston is well inside, a long way inside the top 100. He's ranked at 66, just slightly below his career high of 63. He's 21 years of age. That's pretty good work. De Minaur, you could almost class him as a veteran now. He's been around for a long time, but he's still pretty young, only 23, been as high as 15 in the world, and currently his ranking is 27. He'll be a bit disappointed with that, because de Minaur is a very, very competitive animal, and he has played his guts out this year. Actually, he's played nearly 40 matches, just over 40 matches. And his win-loss record, it's looking a bit patchy, because we know that he went out in a very controversial loss to a Frenchman at the French Open in Paris. And de Minaur's tracking at his lost his last 3 out of his last 4 matches. But his win-loss record is pretty decent at 23 wins for 15 losses. And he's got to be feeling confident against the Bolivian. Gaston is, although his ranking's very decent actually, but he's only won 9 of his last 20 matches, and he's had 2 wins and 2 losses in the lead up to Wimbledon, the last 4 matches. But where it counts for us, our stat that we're concentrating on is how do they look with their form on grass. Well, de Minaur, he's had some really solid match practice on grass. 7 matches for 4 wins. Gaston, not going so good. Only the 4 matches and running at 50% success rate. But you've got to back de Minaur in this match. He's well ahead in the rankings, and he's got experience to burn. He's had success on clay courts. He's claimed 5 titles so far throughout his career. He's looking for that breakthrough win to take him up into the semi-finals, the finals of Grand Slams, and he's just having that little bit of a challenge to break through into that top 10 tier, isn't he? But the best is ahead for him. We're sure of it. And then we'll be right back after some sights, sounds, summer of tennis. Don't go away. We'll be right back. And speaking of the best is yet to come, well, maybe has it already come? Guess who's coming up next in our preview? It's box office Nick Kyrgios. And I'll tell you what, there's never a dull moment around Nick. We've covered him at length in a few of our episodes leading up to the Australian Open. Can you believe it? He was given a wild card. This guy, I tell you what, he has to be one of the most, I don't know, he's one of the most colourful characters we've had for some time. But that's what we tend to get from our Australian men, the top tennis players for Australia. They're always keeping us glued to the screen, aren't they? Or rushing through the gates to pay that admission fee. Leighton Hewitt was no different. And going all the way back to Pat Cash, we've always had a plethora of very colourful, fiery characters, haven't we? But anyway, let's get on with it. Nick Kyrgios, head-to-head with Paul Jubb. These guys have never met before, and I don't think Nick Kyrgios will be losing any sleep whatsoever about his prospects with Paul Jubb. This guy, hailing from Great Britain, they'll be all crammed into Edmonds Hill cheering this young kid on. He's 219 in the world. That's his highest ranking. So good luck to him. Good on him. He's playing in front on his home Grand Slam, probably on centre court or something very close to it. And at 22, the world's at his feet, so we wish him all the best. But I think on this occasion, I'd say Nick Kyrgios has him covered, wouldn't you? Now, Kyrgios, his ranking at the Australian Open was in the 60s to the 70s, inside the top 100. And he's been outside the top 100 because, lucky old Nick, he's picking and choosing when and where he plays. He has had a ranking of 13. That's his highest. But at the moment he's ranked 40, and he is a Grand Slam winner. How could you forget that amazing run at this year's Australian Open? He partnered up with Classy Tanasi Kokkinakis. They pulled off the impossible, didn't they? They claimed that Grand Slam doubles win on their home court in front of their home crowd, and it was almost a bit too much, wasn't it, to take in after Ash Barty won on the same night. Can you believe it? Three Australian Grand Slam champions that night. Now, for the sake of the exercise, we'll finish off strongly with these stats. And Nick Kyrgios, he is in tip-top form. He's running at well over almost 80%, 80 to 85% success rate through his last 10 matches. He's only lost 3 out of his last 10. Paul Jubb, he's pretty respectable. He's for where he is in the 200s, a 50% success rate for his last 10 matches is pretty good. He's won 20 out of his 32 matches for 2022. So he can hold his head up high going into this match, and he'll be going for broke, I'm sure. On grass, he's not had a lot of success. He's only won 3 of his 7 matches on grass in 2022. Nick Kyrgios, as you would expect, he's on fire. He's won 7 of 9 grass court matches, and it's all over the papers. The lead-up in the articles and the commentary around Nick Kyrgios, even Classy Tanasi Kokkinakis has he is as you would expect in Nick Kyrgios's corner, saying that he's never seen him so well primed for a breakthrough Grand Slam singles win. And Nick, being the confident little character that he is, even he thinks that he's a big tilt, and he thinks he's the best grass court player in the world. But interestingly, in the last couple of days, Nick Kyrgios named Andy Murray, of all people, as his biggest danger in the 2022 Wimbledon tournament. And also look out for our other upcoming series on Wimbledon, stripped of rankings points. We're going to be presenting some episodes looking into the circumstances and the ramifications, consequences a little bit of the fallout from that decision by Wimbledon, and then how the player tours reacted to that decision. And also, coming up after Wimbledon, leading into the US Open, we're going to be looking at the topic of mental health and how professional tennis players down the rankings, how those players on the Challenger and ITF circuits deal with being players travelling around the world looking to rack up rankings points so they can forge their way into the Grand Slams and the challenges they deal with. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. You're listening to This Australian Open Live. You can watch us on the internet all over the world from anywhere you are, and we've also got our podcast going, of course, hosted by Acast, but you can find us on Spotify, on all those channels. The names which just escape me, isn't that hopeless? But you can find us on wisewords.com.au. You can find the podcast and listen from the comfort of your lounge room, your laptop, your mobile, when you're on the train, when you're on the plane, anywhere in the world. This Australian Open Life will be pleased and happy to keep you company. Thanks for joining us on This Australian Open Life. You've been listening to me, the bloke who walks, sometimes known as the bloke who bangs on a bit. We're based in Melbourne, Australia. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Please keep following. Please keep enjoying these episodes and enjoy the tennis. We hope you're having a great time keeping an eye on these elite international tennis players. So that about wraps it up. Hope you enjoyed that very rudimentary summary. I'm not going to pat myself on the back about the quality of this episode. It was really just about bringing together all those names of all those players and just letting you know that that's where things are at, because we live in a digital age, but it's actually sometimes not that easy to find all this information. And the Christmas New Year's break, I mean, who wants to spend all their time looking at endless streams of apps and websites and so let us do all the hard work for you. That's what we're here for. And it's so very much appreciated that we're finding out that from most of the viewers, whether it's by comments or likes or subscriptions, that this Australian Open Life is hitting the mark for you. You've been listening to Bloke Who Walks. This was our Wildcards episode of the Spotlight series. Have a great new year. Thanks for listening, and we'll chat to you very soon. Bye for now. Based in Melbourne, Australia, This Australian Open Life is produced by Wise Words Media and Calumny Films.